Welcome back, everybody. In this video tutorial we're going to go ahead and get our WordPress installation installed using the MySQL database information that we had set up in our previous video tutorial. So if you're not familiar with the MySQL database setup process, go ahead and check out that video tutorial that we've posted, because this video will pick up after the fact that the database and the domains folder system have already been created on your virtual dedicated server. So you'll need to make sure you have all those steps already taken care of in order to actually proceed with the WordPress installation, which is what we're going to do right now. You can see here we got our notepad with all of our database MySQL database connection information right here. We're going to need that during the WordPress installation wizard that we're going to launch in just a moment. So let's dive right into it. It's pretty simple. All you got to do is get to your folder system for your domain, which you can see we're in the www root folder of our test domain, which we're using ihostdnn.net for this. I've already downloaded the WordPress installation pack, which you can get from their official website. You would just go on your web browser and do like a web search or Google search for WordPress, and you would find WordPress right away, and just go to their official website and use the links to follow to the download page. Like I said, I've already downloaded it to the downloads folder right here. You can see the file right here. This is the zip WordPress files. So what we want to do is just select it, right click, and we're going to use extract here option. This uses WinRAR to extract the zip file where it's currently at. So this is going to open up all of the files, or actually I guess it's just going to drop out one WordPress folder, which you see right here, and inside of that is all of the actual WordPress installation files. So we just want to go ahead and select these files right here and copy them, and then just hit back twice. Should get us back into our www root folder, and then we're going to paste all these files right here. So the first thing that we need to do is in WordPress you have to actually update the connection string manually, and then you launch the website and it'll go through the installation wizard, the rest on its own. So one of your files in your www root folder now should be called wp-config-sample.php, and this is the config file. This is much like a web.config file would be for your DNN or ASP.NET applications. So basically we're going to use their sample file here and we're going to edit it. First you want to do is rename it, which you can do by selecting and then right click and choose the rename option here. And basically you need to drop the word sample and the second hyphen out of it so that it just reads wp-config.php. This is the correct file name. They have it saved the other way so that it's like a sample document, and then you would either copy the file or rename it like we're going to do in this case. So just hit enter to apply that change. So you see the file name has now changed. This is the file that WordPress is actually going to look for. So now we want to right click on this, and you could just click edit, which would open it in Notepad, I believe, or you could use open with to go to Notepad. But sometimes PHP code gets a little wonky when you open it with regular Notepad. I'll show you real quick. You can see here that the word wrap just kind of has all the text bunched into one big block of text, which is very difficult to read. Makes it very hard to find where you're working, and you may accidentally mess something up in this view. So I actually highly recommend working with Notepad++. It's a free program. If you don't already have it on your server, just open up your web browser and do a web search for Notepad++, and you'll find this program right away. It's very lightweight, it's free, it's a safe program. It's not affiliated with our company in any way. But it's just a great utility. It works really well for doing content editing like we're about to do. So if we choose edit with Notepad++, you'll see the same text document open in Notepad++, and now you'll see Notepad++ retains all of the actual formatting in the PHP code of this file, and everything's nicely spaced out. You can actually see what you're working with, and this makes it a lot easier. It's pretty much kind of guarantees we're not going to make silly typo mistakes. So I highly recommend using the Notepad ++ option. Alright, so you can see right here in this block, this is where all the database connection information goes in, and you can see that it's all labeled accordingly. So basically we just need to fill in this information from our notepad here. So the first thing it's asking for is DB name, and you always want to put your information between these single quotation marks. Those need to stay. So we're just going to get rid of everything between the single quotation marks, and then we're actually going to copy and paste our database name in there, which you can see on my document here. I had saved the database name from when we set it up in the last video tutorial. So we're just going to copy that, and we're going to paste it right in here. And then we need, next thing is the MySQL database username, dbuser. Again, same thing. We're just going to backspace out everything between the single quotation marks. And then come over here and get our username off of our saved information. Put the cursor back in between the single quotation marks and paste. So there you can see that the username and the database name are now in between their single quotation marks where they belong. We're going to do the exact same thing for the password. Just get rid of the default setting and copy our MySQL database password from when we created it. And then again, paste it between the single quotation marks. So we've got the database name, database user, and password all filled out. Database host, you can see, has already conveniently been filled in with the word localhost by default, which if you watched our last video, you'll know that's exactly what you want because your MySQL database is running locally on the same server. So that's actually all we needed to do in here. It was the database name, the database username, and the database password. And then we left DB host as localhost. I really don't believe you should need to set anything else in here. There are definitely other options and things that can be set in here for various reasons, but by default this should be all you need to do to actually complete your WordPress installation. So we're going to go up to the top here. We're going to choose save, and that'll just resave our wp-config.php file exactly where it is in the folder system. And then you can click this little X right here to actually close that document inside of Notepad++, and then close Notepad++. We will not be using it anymore. I'm going to keep this up even though we shouldn't need this connection information anymore, but I'll just minimize it for now. So that's it. We've actually put all of the files in the appropriate www root folder, and we have updated the wp-config file to include the correct MySQL database connection info. So we should be all set to actually launch our application now. So we're going to go ahead and go to Internet Explorer, and we're going to give this a shot. We're going to type in our domain name, ihostdnn.net. And it should go straight to that folder, and hopefully it'll default straight to the appropriate PHP file. And yes, you can see it sure did. PHP launched and automatically redirected us to the installation URL for WordPress, and it brought up the installation wizard. This wizard's a lot more straightforward than the .NET Nuke one because you already put the database connection information directly into your file here. You had to do that manually, whereas DNN, you actually did that on the wizard. So similar, but a little bit different than what you may have worked with in the past. But basically, anyways, site title, you can pretty much type in anything you would like. Our site's ihostdnn.net, so that's what we'll call it. Username, this can be anything you want. You're actually creating this right now, and actually good thing we kept the notepad open because I would recommend jotting this down. So for video's sake, I'm just going to call my user WP admin. We'll say it's WordPress admin. So I'm actually going to label this as WordPress login. And we'll say username, WP admin, and then password. Just like before in the other video, I'm just going to create something random real quick. There you go. That's a nice password. So we'll just copy that password. So username is going to be WP admin, and we will paste our password in twice. It says it's nice and strong. Email address, this is important. This is what you would want to have WordPress contact your user, your WP ad, whatever your username is going to be. This is the email address associated with it. This is how WordPress will send you notifications and things like that. I'm just going to go ahead and type in one of our generic email addresses here with the company, since this is just for testing purposes anyways. But you obviously would want to make sure to type in whatever email address you are comfortable with receiving your email at here. Alright, so we'll just go ahead and plug that in. Privacy, go ahead and just leave this option checked. Obviously you want search engines to index your website in most cases. And then just click the Install WordPress button. And it's already tested the database connection, I believe, before this, so I believe it should just go through straight away. And yep, you see, look at that, so quick. Success, WordPress has been installed. Were you expecting more steps? Sorry to disappoint. Haha, they're funny. But anyways, you're actually all done at this point. If we hit login, it should actually take us straight to the login page, which you can see WordPress actually uses a specific URL. You have to actually go to this URL. If you were to just go to your website at this point, I'll just cut this extension real quick with a cut option. I just want you guys to see what it looks like when you go to the site normally. You're actually going to see the website. So this is what your WordPress site actually looks like at this point when you go directly to the URL. And you'll notice there's not really a login button on the front page of a WordPress like there would be with other content management systems you may be used to. You have to actually go to this specific URL, wp-login.php, which I'm actually going to add to my notes here, just so I have that for future reference. Oops, forgot the slash in here. So that's the URL you would have to actually go to log into your site. And I'm going to resave this document just so I have all this info, and in case I ever need to reference this stuff again. So now, like I said, if you go to this specific URL, you should get your login box. And here we can actually log in. We called our username WP admin, and the password that we created, I'll just copy it from right here and paste it in right here. I'm going to tell this to not save my password because we're just doing this for testing purposes. And here you go. This is where you'll actually get redirected after you log in. Notice the URL is /wp-admin. This is the actual admin area. You could go directly to this URL, and WordPress would force you to log in when you get to this URL if you're not already logged in. And this is actually your administration area. So this is how you would edit your WordPress page and start building your actual website. And I thought there was a logout button here somewhere in one of the corners. Here you go. If you mouse over your username in the top right corner, this is how you would log out of your actual WordPress installation when you're done editing stuff. And I do believe that'll drop you back out at the main page, or the login page. So here you go. All right, so that's it. That's all there is to it. You've deployed your new WordPress installation. It works appropriately, and you can log in and start editing and building your website right away. We hope this video was informative to you guys, and we're definitely going to go through some more tutorial series like this involving similar topics. And we look forward to seeing you guys at the next video. Take care.